Hey, Bret Contreras here, and just wanted to film a video showing everything about the glute ham raise. So this one I got from Elite Fitness. I've had it for probably around, say, 5 years or so. So I've kind of learned all the little bells and whistles to it. But there's two different places you can adjust. You can adjust this up and down, and most powerlifters and most athletes I see will have it down here, and I've never liked having it down here. I've always liked having this foot plate up as high as you can. I've always felt it more in my hamstrings, which actually makes sense when you think about it, because up top the angle allows for a little bit more constant tension. Not much, but I've always liked having it up here. And then you can also play with the lever length right here. Now, if I have it closer to the pad, then my knees will be up here. For some people, they can't tolerate the stress, just the physical trauma that it puts on their knees. But I can do this, but this would extend the lever length because my knees are now here, and I wouldn't be able to get as many reps. I'll show you. I'll show you what that looks like. So if I'm way out here, now look how far my knees are. Now from here, it's really hard to do a glute ham raise. So if I have it out here, I can only get like five reps. But if I put it out further, at hole 5, that last one was at hole 3, this one's at hole 5. Now my knees stay about here, so I've got some of my thighs touching, which decreases the lever arm length, and it also lets my knees sink down a little bit. And so now I can get more reps this way. So from here, a lot easier. I can get around between 12 and 20 reps that way. So once you get really good at the glute ham raise, you want to make it harder, because these I can bust out. Depending on where it is in my workout, I can bust out a lot of reps. So I'm going to show you 4 different ways how to make it harder. The first way is to just toy around with your arm placement. If my arms are down here, I've got a lot of weight, the weight of my arms is down low, but if I move it up here or even here, that's a lot of weight you're putting further down the lever. So it's a big deal. Kind of like doing a lateral raise like this and doing a lateral raise like this is a lot harder. The further the weight is down the lever, the harder it's going to be. So I've found that from this to this is around the same difference as holding on to around a 30-pound dumbbell right here, a 20 to 30-pound dumbbell. So makes a big difference. So this would be like maybe a prisoner. You could call it like a prisoner glute ham raise, where you put your hands in the prisoner position. So here's first way to make it way harder is to just here to there. Okay. Next way is to hold on to a dumbbell, which I just do right here. Here's a 20-pounder, and I keep it right beneath my chin. Okay, and then the final way, actually not the final way, I'll show 2 different ways, would be to put a band around your neck. This one has this nice these rings for band attachments. But the nice thing about the band is that it gives you constant tension. Up top, the glute ham raise is unloaded. So right here there's not much tension, but up top there's a lot. So here's the band. So right here, it's pulling me down. And then, of course, the hardest variation would be a dumbbell and a band, which that's really hard. Okay, and then finally, I learned this from Smitty from the Diesel crew, but this is something I've been thinking about for a while. I just never got around to trying it. He elevated the back of the glute ham raise, put this at an angle. I have another video on my YouTube page that shows this, and he does too. But if you put this back the backside up onto a bench or something. So I elevated around an angle like this. And what that does is it puts, now you're at an angle, so as you come up, there's constant tension here. The only problem with the glute ham raise is that right here, pretty much unloaded on my hammies. My hammies aren't doing much. You know, my low back is trying to extend to keep me more upright, but if you have this at an angle, now you have constant tension, and it's a lot more effective exercise. I've found that if I can do around, say, 3 sets of 12 at the end of my workout, if I do it at the beginning, I could probably get 3 sets of 20. But say I do 3 sets of 12 at the end of my workout, if I were to do the constant tension glute ham raise at an angle, I can only get around 3 sets of 6. So it makes it that much harder, and you feel it a lot more in the hammies. So anyway, that's all about the glute ham raise. Hope you liked it.